Today, Precarious plays Stardew Valley.
Ooh, look. It's pretty out. Yay.
Is this the first day there's been snowfall in winter for you?
I don't,
This year?
I don't, maybe? Maybe.
How many days do you want to go in winter?
I don't know. I just like it.
No, 20.
Yeah, like
Eight.
all of them because I like this season because I don't have to go water my plants every 5 minutes is what it feels like. You know, it's funny. I have gotten I got into Stardew Valley for the gardening, but I think that I'm really here for the everything else, the artisan goods. They're more fun.
You know,
There's more of a process to it.
I think that I've noticed a couple of strange things. First, I wonder what it is about Stardew Valley that captures your attention.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did you see your small animals?
Nope, I'm a bad person. And I know that fucking rabbit's not gonna have a foot for me, so why even bother? You see a foot? No. Just 4 little feet attached to a furry little head. Stupid ass.
2 big stupid ears. Big dumb
Don't-
fluffy tail.
Okay. Ooh, yeah, oh.
Goddamn little button nose.
He's so adorable.
Fucking disgusting.
I know. Hideous, really.
Just gonna bolt you to that dancing heater. Just let thermodynamics have their way with you. You should plant that coffee bean.
I know. I need to plant
But
the
like
coffee
really
bean.
aggressively.
I'm gonna go plant the coffee bean.
Like you don't till the ground, you just punch it into the dirt.
I went the wrong
Yeah.
way. Wait, no, I didn't. Yes, I did. That's what happens when you're angry. You get confused because you're so furious. This isn't working like I wanted it to.
May just
We're-
need more time.
Yeah, I'll just put the coffee bean like in a far, far corner. Like this corner.
You do probably have to till the ground.
Oh, right.
And it might be coffee beans. Maybe give it a little bit of space in case it needs it. Coffee beans don't grow on like little shrubs or trees or anything, do they?
I've never seen one in this game.
Well, I meant in real life.
Oh, yeah. They're like little bushes. Bushes.
I hope it doesn't count. I hope it doesn't run on tree rules.
Well, I've put it so that even if it did run on tree rules, it would be fine.
Yeah, I think that the frame for the greenhouse might actually count as empty space for trees anyway. I remember seeing something online about a proposed most optimal plan for fruit trees.
Don't
in
let me
there.
forget the sprinkler.
What do you mean?
I have a sprinkler and I don't want to water my coffee beans.
Okay,
I
got
don't
it.
use it for the big farm, like for the big garden,
Yeah,
because I didn't want to make a bunch of them.
right. Yeah, that's when I started using.
Did I only get one milk?
Sprinklers
Oh no,
myself.
they're just both great. They're just both deluxe milks.
Oh,
They're the best milks.
I just forgot how luxury I am.
Solid gold!
So I think it's interesting that you've played so much Stardew Valley now.
You
But-
ass.
Not a lot of Story of Seasons. Really not even that much Rune Factory.
Oh,
Rune.
I can tell you why.
Why?
It's a stupid reason.
Hit me with that stupid reason.
This is on my laptop.
No, I get that.
I have access to it, so as soon as I think, huh, I guess I actually have a whole 20 minutes. I bet I can play a day of Stardew Valley. Like a full day, too. You know?
Well, the thing is, how to phrase this delicately? I think I've said something similar before, like very early on, but just to reiterate, in genre, right? Stardew Valley is just pretty good. It is merely pretty good and available on Steam.
Yeah.
I think that I'd probably put it above the original Rune Factory. Which for me, in my mind, is high praise. That means that it will be remembered fondly long after my brain begins to deteriorate in old age. I will appreciate it. And possibly I'll be able to come back to it in the future. Yeah, just being better than the original Rune Factory, and probably, like, I would sooner play this than It's a Wonderful Life. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Oh,
Note!
secret note.
I found it!
Can you use that, please? Because I want to know...
It's old and crumpled, but if you look closely...
Hold it above your head and read it. Oh. Did it do a thing? Oh, okay. Oh, so it gives you its in-game hints for loved things.
Aww.
And stuff like that.
So Alex likes salmon. Nice.
That's neat. That's cute. I think
that's so cute.
that is a lot of extra work if that is like the theme of that, and if they have one of those for everybody in town, even if there are no other secret notes. If that's all those are, that's pretty cool, because that means that that's like a lot of time spent rationalizing everyone's favorite thing.
Yeah. I don't know why I keep coming over this.
Because I gave you some bad advice, man.
Like once, and now it's a pattern.
I fucked it up. I'm sorry.
Well, I could do a little bit of a better job not listening to you. Could do that. I have to say, I'm thinking about the qualities of this game. I love this game. It's a great game. I've played a lot of this game. It makes me happy. It does lots of good things for me. It helps me stay sane when life is crazy, which is an important...
Is it, though?
It's an important piece of escapism for me. However, I have to say that the cooking is not as good as it could be.
I don't know if it is. Okay. I think it is a good game in the same way that Superman is a good guy. Like, I think it's...
Is that not enough?
Its existence improves the world. It is something that bothers me that you play so much of a game that I would describe as technically inferior. Mechanically inferior.
Yeah.
That you haven't latched on to any Harvest Moon title in the same way. Like, this one has some nice touches that Harvest Moon could benefit from as a series. I haven't played every recent entry. Like, I don't think I've played the most recent Story of Seasons, and I skipped out basically on every other DS Harvest Moon. I only played the one on, or one of the ones on the Wii very briefly. But I think that the little touches that I'm imagining, probably you don't find them.
5 chicken statues.
Yeah. You probably don't find them in that series now, especially like the one that's called Harvest Moon. I think that might just be done and gone. Because there was like a branding publisher developer split. So what was in Japan, I think, always like a Story of Seasons,
Yeah.
and was just known as Harvest Moon here. Now, if you see a Harvest Moon game, it is probably a Toxic Waste Pit. And now you have to look for Story of Seasons if you want to have that. I feel like a lot of the new Story of Seasons games focus too much on the obsessive tendencies. Like here's a big book of things to collect, and it's all really tiresome to gather because... So I think that there was a very like deeply optional, very missable, sort of intimate, quiet side quest dealy in Friends of Mineral Town, where if you became friends with the little lady in the town, like Ellen's grandma, I think. Was it Ellen? Or maybe her name was Ellen, and then her granddaughter was Ellie. I can't remember their names. One was Ellen, and the other one was Ellie. If you became friends with the little lady, and then you presented to her a ball of yarn, she would make you a stocking, like a holiday stocking, which would then permanently hang on your wall. And it wasn't a thing where, like, every person in the town had an equivalent gesture of friendship, right? It wasn't marked. It was just a cute little thing. Kind of like how in Harvest Moon 64, the ranch owners had a dog that looked a lot like yours, but it was dark brown instead of light brown.
Yeah.
And if you left your dog over there, like if you picked your dog up, carried it over there, put it down, and then left it, they would have puppies.
Oh, starfruit.
Yeah, any seeds you have.
I can
Also,
just-
any fruits that you have that you can feed into the wood chipper, feed into the seed maker, you can start growing those in the greenhouse as well.
I just realized, and I have good fertilizer.
That's what I like about Stardew Valley. It does pretty rigidly define some of those experiences with the exclamation point menu, which is fine. I think that the thing we just did, it felt incidental and mysterious, and I'm sure that it's very easily seen online. And the rules for it are very well known online. But on the other hand, it also kind of feels like something that maybe we're the only two people who ever found it, and this is a Precarious Plays exclusive. Is that the truth? Absolutely not. Does
Yeah.
it feel that way? Yeah,
Yes.
it kind of does.
Yeah.
It feels like that could possibly be the case. And that's something special that I think a lot of newer Harvest Moon games they've lost, right? Everything
Yeah.
is like, here is the logbook, and now you will
Here is
fill
your
up the
factory
logbook.
farm.
Oh, not
Please
even.
send it.
No, not that. It's more just like, I feel like there would have been a little missing inventory spot, and it would have been shaped like a magnifying glass, and on the morning of that creature's appearance, right, it would have there would have been like a little cutscene, and then an older character in town would have shown up to be like, I'm the town specialist on the paranormal. That looked like a shadow man. You should probably follow it using its tracks, right?
Yeah, it kind of gets rid of the mystery and fun.
Actually, that's a great point of comparison. In Story of Seasons, remember how like I said like as soon as you get bored, like I gave you the 3DS and I was like, as soon as you get bored, tell me. and I'll keep going for a little bit,
Uh-huh.
right? And it's because I knew that the intro to that game is bad. It's awful because it's just like the first 2 weeks, it's just them beating you over the head with making sure that you absolutely will not get lost in those first couple of weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember back in Friends of Mineral Town, Back to Nature, Harvest Moon 64, most of the Rune Factory games. Rune Factory, I think, had a better balance because it's like, here are some tutorials, but we're not going to tell you everything, and it's going to be pretty brisk. And more importantly, it's generally going to be, like, well written. Like, I remember in the first one, the girl who is tutorializing is very charming and likable and sort of just pleasant to be around.
Mm-hmm.
But Story of Seasons, it's just a really long tutorial where an old lady who is nice, but still is just very, very slowly, laboriously describes how to play to you. But in earlier Harvest Moon titles, you missed those top 2 squares. In earlier Harvest Moon titles, they didn't give you a lot of starting money. It was completely possible to screw up and then have to essentially learn how to forage before you could learn how to get a second chance at learning how to farm. But the stakes were so low. I think that the only time that wasn't true, it was Sunshine Islands, Isle of Happiness, maybe? I can't remember the title, but one of the DS games, you can get into a, like an affirmative feedback loop, where if you screw up early on, it becomes very difficult to acquire food to keep your character's satiation up, which can eventually result...
Oops. Oh.
It can eventually result in a scenario where you
have an artichoke.
You are basically almost too hungry to work at all.
Oh.
Yeah, I was not prepared for that whenever I played it. And I was already college age, you know? I remember having a discussion with my little sister, and is this fun? You're having fun playing this one? Because this seems really like not good. Oh shit! Yeah, that went on for a really long time. Bye.
Bye.